Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 Reunion Part 2. And I don't know what y'all think, but I think it was actually pretty good. I got a good amount of notes. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it for sure. If you're new here or if you're not, welcome. Glad to have you. Please hit the subscribe because this is a growing channel. I need your help to grow it. If y'all don't hit the subscribe and y'all don't like and y'all don't watch it all the way through, then what's even the point? So do your girl solid and do all the things, please and thank you. Oh, and see, I gotta take 10 seconds to explain what's going on with these nails. 2 weeks ago, I went to a new nail tech. I did a walk-in. First mistake. Baby, these nails is popping off like press-ons. Y'all remember Fresh Prince when Tisha Campbell was on there and she was like pop, 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 pop. That's what's going on right now. They just suddenly all today just start popping off. Child, if the Lord just don't want me to have my nails done, just say that. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into it. So we pick up with play cousin Courtney, aka Ralph's mouthpiece, speaking on his behalf. Per usual, we don't even hardly know nothing about Courtney. She's just there to basically say everything that Ralph can't say. So Drew says Ralph has been coaching Courtney and she just met him yesterday, and that's a fact. Drew told Courtney to keep her son's name out her mouth. Rightfully so. And all this, she didn't say nothing about her son and all that. This ain't that. Because there was no reason to bring up that adoption or her son at all. That was a very sensitive subject. Courtney and her mouth can go. Don't be putting no child's name in your mouth. Keep your mouth off her son. I'm in agreement. Courtney lied and was like, I didn't say anything about your son. Andy was like, and yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you know you did when Andy had to step in. So Courtney continues to bash Drew's parenting. And Kenya, even Sonja had to say kids are off limits. Goodness. Drew admitted she went to Ty's basketball game. Courtney trying to act like that was doing something. Baby, we don't care. Boo, let me come close. We don't care. We have a little feeling, and we feel it in our spirit that Drew may have a thing going on with Ty. Whether she do or not, we really don't care. We really don't. So, Candy said on set while filming the movie, The Pass, and if y'all haven't seen my live review, check out the replay. I did a review on it. Good time. Had fun. Be sure to check it out, okay? But anywho, she said that Drew told her makeup artist and Mangetta that if she had, her girl crush is Ty. So apparently the makeup artist made it happen, and that's how Ty came to the set. So when they were saying oh, Drew met Ty on set, I thought she had a scene in the movie. But no. She just came to the set for Drew specifically. Well, she seemed like she doing more than Ralph doing, but that's neither here nor there. So Sheree was like, well, I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to get in the middle of the mess. But I just so happened to have another folder with some incriminating text messages between Drew and Ty that somebody just so happened to leave at my door. I don't know who it was. I don't know. Girl, it's 2023. You got a big old gate, a big old house. I got a Ring camera. So I know you got to have ADT at least. And you mean to tell me you don't know who left that at your door? That's because nobody left it at your door. They put it in your hand. But, that's just what I think. Let me know what y'all think. So, they go through the people, everybody looking at the messages. Yeah, Sheree. I don't know. Sheree can go. I feel like I don't really think Sheree should have came back, and I feel like she can just go ahead and go. Even with all her antics this reunion, it's not enough for me. She can go ahead and go. And Andy mentions Mangetta's orphanage, and it was kind of random. He just threw that up in there. I forgot Mangetta was there, though. I really forgot Mangetta was there. But, shout out to her for doing good work out there in Africa. So during the lunch break, Marlo and her raspy voice gave Sheree props on the she news nonsense that she put together. Has she put that time into her career? But you already know where I'm going with it. I ain't even gonna go there. I don't know. I feel like the She News thing, it didn't do nothing for me. It was a whole, you literally sat there and printed a whole newspaper that you made just to bash Candy. Like, it didn't really, and I, like, why do you have such a disdain for Candy? Y'all used to say y'all was friends. But Sheree claims Candy keeps talking about her. She really don't. She really don't. She talks about Candy talks about Sheree less than Sheree actually talks about Candy, if we want to keep it real. So in another room, peach holder Ralph Thomas is getting his Beijing sprayed all around his hairline when cousin Courtney comes in. You know, cousin Courtney 10 times removed, okay? That little passionate hug she gave him. I said, that hug, that slow rub down his arm and all around his neck was telling. So, Mama Sister Allison walks by and Courtney tried to close the door in her face. Allison said, "Don't you close that door in my face." Sounding just like somebody's mama. They was getting ready to, listen, Allison was about to knock Courtney's head between the washer and the dryer, okay? But side note, is it me? If y'all know Marsha Ambrosius from that group, Floetry, from back in the early 2000s, don't she kind of favor her a little bit? Or is it just me? Like, just a little bit. But anyway, so the ladies go back out and they said they tried Candy's peach from her peach party. We also touched on Kenya tearing up some man's groceries 75 years ago. I don't know why we talking about it, but we did. Moving on, we get to Sonja's miscarriage, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would hope no woman ever has to go through that experience. I'm glad that Sonja has her rainbow baby now. Like, it just brings me so much joy that there was a positive outcome to that situation. But I really want to know how Courtney got more camera time than Sonja this entire reunion. That's telling. That's telling. I don't know if that baby gonna be enough to keep her peach. So a month after her loss, Sonja got pregnant again. Well, I hope Ross is pregnant this time, because she said he wasn't there with Deucey. He only went to one doctor's appointment. She had to suffer. We know it was a business trip, but she had to suffer through that alone. He should have been on the next flight, honey. She had to tell Deuce that she lost the baby by herself. Like, I'm just tired of seeing Sonja without Ross. Whew, and her family moved out, child. So Sonja is hurt that Kenya didn't reach out after her loss. And Kenya was like, I did reach out. And Sonja was like, I wouldn't lie about that. I don't know if there was a miscommunication, but Kenya did seem genuinely happy for Sonja and the rainbow baby. Kenya shared that she's looking to adopt. Thank goodness she is letting that embryo with Mark nonsense go. It would have been a fine idea if Mark wasn't involved. So I'm glad. I wish more people would just go the adoption route. There are so many children that need homes, okay? So I really do like that. She said, like a 3 or 4 year old, an older child, potty trained, walking, talking, ready for school. Listen, I don't blame you. And it seems like the older they get, the harder it is to get adopted. So I'm glad. We touched on Sonja caping for Marlo, being biased and a flip-flopper. And she basically continued her flip-flopping ways. Marlo swears Kenya was keeping her name in her mouth. But all season long, it's actually been the other way around, Marlo. It's the other way around, boo. Marlo and Sheree said that they were not going to raise their paddle for Sonja's charity event. They were just going to pay her on the side. Maybe Marlo was. We know no pay Sheree wasn't paying nothing. But they said they didn't want to raise a paddle because Kenya was the host. What kind of friends are these? These is 50-year-old women, okay? Y'all that petty that you can't raise your paddle at a charity event because you don't like the host? Don't even show up then. But Sonja's sitting up there defending it like she liked to do. So Andy reads fan questions, aka producer questions, and Sheree puts in a question. She may actually more like a suggestion. She suggests that Candy step down because she feels like she doesn't share her personal life. Listen, I'm not a stan of nobody on no show. Let's be clear. But Candy has been the most transparent housewife, in my opinion, through her duration. She's been on since season 2. She's been the most transparent housewife of them all, in my opinion, sharing everything about her life for the most part. Especially when you compare it to Sheree. Because Sheree was lying to us season one, acting like she had money. Whole time she was broke. So, like, no, let's not do that. I mean, we know what happened with her ex-fiance who passed away. Her mama, she got her whole family on there. Her restaurant, we done seen it all. Her baby daddy drama. We've literally seen everything. Candy mentioned Sheree knowing a thing or two about, because Sheree said that Candy should take a break. And Candy was like, well, Sheree, you would know a thing or two about taking a break now, wouldn't you? Because you've been off the show more than you've been on the show. Yeah, you were OG, but you've been more off than on. Sheree said that she was asked back. And she was like, y'all are a little lackluster, so they keep asking me to come back. Well, honey, y'all still lackluster, even with you being back. You back, and this is like the second worst season. Because what was season 13 with that Bolo Gate? That was still the worst season, in my opinion. You didn't add much, honey. You never do. Plus, this is new face Sheree. So as far as I'm concerned, new face means a clean slate. So this is like your first season as far as I'm concerned. So we talk about the long-standing beef between Marlo and Candy. And we touch on Marlo's nephew. Rest in peace to him. But I really don't want to hear about this no more. Because Marlo used her nephew for a storyline, in my opinion. Candy said Marlo's jealous of her. And, I mean, it's looking like, that's what it looked like. Marlo was like, ooh, girl, no, I want the soft life. You take care of too many people. And to me, it sounded like she was about to say you take care of Todd. But that's just what I heard. That's what my ears heard. Drew chimes in, and Marlo was like, girl, worry about your marriage. Drew said, how about you get a husband, then we'll talk about it. And Marlo said, you get a wife. Drew, Miss Ma'am, with a husband like yours, not too much. Not too much. Like, it really is not a flex. So, Marlo doesn't have a husband. And Drew, you really don't neither. I mean, he in a whole nother room. Anywho, Sonja speaks up for Marlo, per usual. Don't care. Ralph comes out in his sparkly suit. And I'm surprised it wasn't blue to match everybody else. So, Ralph is sitting there with all the ladies. I have never seen like a husband, like there's been times where a husband and wife are having issues and the whole cast wasn't there. Like everybody was just sitting there awkwardly, like a couple arguing in their house and everybody just sitting there like don't know what to say, looking at your phone, like looking away. Like it was already uncomfortable enough, I'm sure, with the cameras. We didn't need everybody on set. Like whose idea? They don't like Drew. Like, I don't know. I mean, we know the cast don't really like Drew. But the producers, who does like Drew? I'm glad Kenya was there because somebody needed to defend Drew. So, Drew, we saw a little montage with them. And Drew asked Andy to hand Ralph a peach. I told you he already... Peter Thomas walked so Ralph Pittman could run, honey, okay? He done took that peach out of Peter's hand, and he trying to take it over, okay? But girl, just bring a fruit basket the next time. All these fruits. So, Andy asks Ralph questions, and every time Andy asks Ralph a question, Ralph would turn around and ask Drew, like, you want to answer that? No, because he ain't asked her. He asked you. I mean, you want to be on here so bad, but then when you get here, you ain't saying nothing. Peter would have had a whole lot to say. Let me leave Peter out of this. But typical narcissist behavior, he want to hear what she got to say so he can like get his answer together. Sure. He don't want to look like the bad guy like he is. Drew says she's protecting her husband. She didn't sell everything she could have told because she's protecting him. Girl, why? Child, empty the clip. He don't protect you. He don't protect you. Thank goodness Allison's there because your husband ain't doing it. He is your biggest enemy and your number one hater. Like, he's the one that's trying to harm you. And you trying to protect him. I need my sisters. Ladies, take your capes off. Put them down, okay? So, Ralph claims that he's been faithful. And Drew says she's been faithful too. And Ralph was like, but what about Ty? And Drew was like, don't do that. Don't you even go there. Well, I mean, but what about Ty? Like, if she would just own it, we would just let it go. But it's dragging a little bit. Like, girl, just come clean. Are you with her or not? So Drew and Ralph argue about who wanted to divorce first. This is the problem with these two. They are always competing. You cannot this y'all can't have no marriage or no relationship when y'all in competition. How y'all gonna be in a relationship? Y'all supposed to be partners working together, not competing against each other. Like, that's the problem right there. But we know Ralph competing with Drew for that peach. So Ralph said Drew's assistant told him about Ty. Drew, I need your employees to start signing some NDAs, and they should have been signing some. Because why is everybody always telling your business? What is this about? Drew don't want to believe it. She don't want to hear it. She said her assistant wouldn't say that. All your other employees did, so why wouldn't he? She said Ralph is the one, like everybody was saying the streets is talking, but the streets is Ralph. He the one that's loose lips spreading the business. Now he probably is, allegedly. But your assistant might have said something too. I don't put it past nobody. And are you messing with Ty or not? I mean, with nobody, I mean, we could understand now. We ain't blind. So Drew shares a text of a booty pic Ralph got on his phone. It's given the pass. Okay, if you know, you know. And if you don't know, go ahead and check out that review. Catch the replay. I said it over there. So, Andy asked about the Chocolate Magic Mike auditions. Ralph said that he was going for work. Now, we still don't know what he do. They said IT. That's kind of broad. Like, what you do specifically? But the work, in my opinion, was that audition. Okay. So we see an unaired clip where Candy called the producer of said film and got confirmation that Ralph did audition for that movie. I guess he didn't get the part because it seemed he talking when he was just there for work. So I'm guessing he didn't get the role. But anyway, I know Drew likes to lie. We all know Drew got a lying problem. Okay, she can't help herself. It's just in her to just tell stories. However, she's not always lying. Sometimes I think she's telling the truth, and Ralph lied too. And the rest of the ladies have lied a time or two, especially Sheree. But back to them. So Ralph said that Drew has been with multiple women. Drew said Ralph told her that he got BJs all around the world. He was like, "Oh, it was just being funny. Like, it was just being funny. Funny? Where? Where's the humor in that? I'm trying to figure out where was a joke in that. It didn't land. You wasn't trying to be funny. You was trying to be hurtful. But see, you don't like when them tables get to turn. You don't like that. So Ralph said he didn't want to adopt her son JoJo because he has a biological father who's involved. He's getting involved now. Some people were like they didn't understand until he said that. I've always understood. I give Ralph that. That always made sense to me. He has a biological father. If the biological father is trying to be active, why there? I don't really see the need for him to adopt him either. Y'all act like he can't be in the boy's life unless he adopts him. He can still be his father in a stepfather role, and he can have a biological father. Josiah can have two dads that love him. Like, without paperwork, it's okay. It really, I promise you it is. He live in a house on him. He spend more time with him than his biological dad. So it's not like it's taking anything away, love-wise, relationship-wise. The boy call him dad. But my issue was with Drew. One, I ain't trying to be pushing or forcing no adoption on nobody. Two, you said he treats your son differently than his biological children. If you treat my son differently, honey, I don't even want you talking to my son. Last thing you about to do is adopt him and be making him feel less than. I don't think so. So they admit that they still love each other. And Drew says she wants to reconcile. I can tell she does. I can tell. That's why I'm like, if they say they got back together, one, everybody would think this was for a storyline. But two, I can tell that she wants to be in a marriage. I just wish that she didn't want to be. Charlie ain't gonna get no better. It won't. Not with him. He don't want to change. He don't think he's doing anything wrong. Drew said she gave Ralph all of her 30s, and he's broken her heart every year. Whew, I felt that. I felt that deep, deep down. Like in the pit of my stomach, I felt her. For real. So, she said that he sides with her enemies. Like, play cousin Courtney. Like, you picking everybody else over your wife. And that's a problem. Because that's your wife. Like, she's supposed to come first. And the mother of your children. Ralph told Drew that she's acting. And she said, F this, and stormed off. Marlo said, Drew, wait, you left your purse. I thought that was corny, like whack, lame, boo, tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Like you was trying to be funny, Marlo, but it's a time and a place for that. That was not cute or nothing. Like you really laughing at this lady's pain, like, and that's why they shouldn't even have been out there. So Kenya tries to talk some sense into Ralph, but child, you wasting your time. He don't care, and plus every time Kenya try to like talk some sense, like she uses herself as an example with her pretend marriage remark. And I say pretend because child, they only seen each other 5 times the whole marriage. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna fall on deaf ears because Ralph, like, you really wasn't even really married for real. So what you talking to me about? Like, anyway. But what Kenya was saying, see, he didn't want to hear it because of the messenger. So he didn't receive the message. And the message was real. But Drew, and you know what? Instead of Ralph running behind, because Andy asked, like, well, were you going to run after her? No, he was not, because he want to be chased. He feel like she should be running after him. It was Sonja, and I think I saw Manietta, but child, I mean, Sonja was running after Drew, wiping her tears instead of her husband. Ooh, honey. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be transparent with y'all. Y'all know I like to keep it honest over here with my YouTube family. I've been with a Ralph for years. I'm talking about down to the still living in the same house and y'all ain't together. The kids, the blended family, everything. Ralph don't like her. Like, Ralph hates her. So all this, like, oh, y'all can make it work is ridiculous. Ralph does not like her. Once you get to a point where the man really don't like you, like, there's really nothing else. I don't want to try to like tell somebody to leave a marriage, but if he don't like you, unless he wants to change it, there's nothing else you can do. Like, she just deserves better. And it's hard because I'm sure she don't want to start over. She been with him so long, whatever. But child, he's really not trying to put in no effort. And if you forgive him this time, he gonna see how far he can push you the next time. Like, he really don't care. He don't care about her. He don't. He takes every opportunity he can to show that he does not value her, does not care about her. He's competing with her. He is really her enemy. When she's excited about something, he's not happy for her. But when she's like, but you quick to argue and be negative and talk down to her, like, if you were a Ralph, baby, get your things and go. It don't get better. Just pack your bags and get up out of there. So Drew takes Andy's chair and she decides to perform a song, a heartbreak song, to Ralph. Baby, it should have been a diss track, okay? It should have been, take a page out of Bambi from Love and Hip Hop's book and make you a little diss track. If y'all watch Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta, check out those reviews too. I got the new one coming up this week. Check out last week's. But anyway, shameless plug. It was a heartbreak song. But it wasn't given, because she was singing it to him. Everybody was like, ooh, this is awkward. Ugh. Especially Andy. He was like, ugh. He's like, wait a minute, she's singing a song to him. When I tell you he could not be fazed, he didn't even blink. He had the most stern face. Like, he looked so uninterested. And I don't know if he just, like, don't like to show his emotions. Baby, don't sing that song no more. He don't care. Don't even do it. Just don't do it. Just sing about how you gonna move on, okay? I mean, if you're gonna be singing some Mary J. Blige Not Gonna Cry type of songs, like, don't sing it to him. He don't, because everybody was like, that was awkward. Like, ooh, that was really awkward. I don't know. I just wish she would have been like, you know what, F you, I'm out. Like, you don't appreciate me. Oh, well. Like, you think he cheating and everything else? Yeah. With passionate hug giving cousin Courtney. Ooh, Drew definitely needs to come back. I know some people said they didn't want Drew to come back. I feel like Drew was kind of carrying the end of this reunion, if you ask me. I mean, because when we have Drew, Allison, Ralph, and play cousin Courtney. That right there, I need to see what's going on with this. Plus, we want to see, is this divorce legit? Do y'all think this they legitimately gonna get divorced, or do you think it's for a storyline, or do you think it can work? I ain't gonna say it can't, because I've seen some people in some toxic relationships and marriages, and somehow they find a way to turn that thing around. But that's the exception to the rule, okay? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Be sure to check out my other content, like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.